Released in 1989, the cult favorite Roadhouse captivated audiences with its high-octane barroom brawls and an unforgettable performance by Patrick Swayze. Over the years, the film has maintained its status as a fan favorite, though time has inevitably impacted the cast. Some of the actors are still active, continuing their careers or enjoying a peaceful retirement, while others have sadly passed on, leaving behind indelible legacies. In this tribute, we explore 25 cast members from Roadhouse, 1989, honoring those no longer with us and catching up with those still thriving, from leading roles to standout supporting characters. Here's a look at where the cast stands today. Anthony DeLonges, born on March 23, 1950, in Glendale, California, played the role of Ketchum in Roadhouse, 1989, at the age of 39. Ketchum is depicted as one of Brad Wesley's most formidable henchmen, notorious for his icy demeanor and relentless ruthlessness. A skilled fighter, he enforces Wesley's rule over the town and clashes violently with Dalton and his allies during the climactic showdown. As the community rises against Wesley's tyranny, Ketchum meets his demise. He is 74 years old as of 2025. Patrick Swayze, born on August 18, 1952, in Houston, Texas, starred as James Dalton in Roadhouse, 1989, at the age of 37. Dalton is celebrated as a renowned bouncer whose cool composure, steadfast philosophy of maintaining order, and lethal fighting skills set him apart. Hired to bring order to the unruly Double Deuce, he clashes with the notorious crime lord Brad Wesley, whose reign of terror engulfs the town. Despite his inherently peaceful nature, Dalton is compelled into brutal confrontations, following a personal creed of being kind, until it's time to fight. Swayze tragically passed away on September 14, 2009, at 57 due to pancreatic cancer. Ben Gazzara, born on August 28, 1930, in New York City, took on the role of Brad Wesley in Roadhouse, 1989, at the age of 59. Wesley is depicted as a merciless crime lord who controls Jasper, Missouri, through fear and corruption. Living a life of luxury at the expense of local businesses, he sees Dalton as a formidable threat and escalates his brutal tactics as resistance mounts, leading to a climactic showdown. Gazzara ultimately portrayed an arrogant and ruthless villain who meets a violent end. He passed away on February 3, 2012, at 81 due to pancreatic cancer. Kimberly Herron, born on October 2, 1957, in Santa Barbara, California, appeared as Party Girl in Roadhouse, 1989, at age 32. As part of Brad Wesley's inner circle, she embraced his extravagant lifestyle and attended his lavish parties, often seen in the background of his high-profile gatherings. Although her role was more atmospheric than central, she perfectly embodied the excess and moral decay that characterized Wesley's reign over Jasper. Herron passed away on October 28, 2022, at 65 after battling breast cancer. Marshall Rohner, born on December 20, 1963, in Iowa, was a member of the Crusados, the band that performed live at the Double Deuce in Roadhouse, 1989. At 26, he showcased his skills as the guitarist, providing an electrifying soundtrack that amplified the film's dynamic and raucous atmosphere. Rohner passed away on October 18, 2005, at the age of 41 from complications related to hepatitis C. Red West, born on March 8, 1936, in Memphis, Tennessee, played the character Red Webster in Roadhouse, 1989, at 53. As the owner of an auto parts store and a respected pillar of the Jasper community, he bravely stood up against Brad Wesley's extortion practices. When Wesley's men targeted his business, it only strengthened Dalton's resolve. Wise and compassionate, Red symbolized the enduring spirit of the town by refusing to bow to corruption. West passed away on July 18, 2017, at 81 due to an aortic aneurysm. Sunshine Parker, born on June 10, 1927, in Lawn, Texas, Sunshine Parker starred as Emmett in Roadhouse, 1989, when he was 62. Emmett is portrayed as a kind-hearted farmer who offers a barn loft to Dalton, admiring his commitment to justice and eventually becoming one of his supporters. Unfortunately, he becomes a target for Brad Wesley's crew, who aim to use him to intimidate Dalton. Parker passed away on February 17, 1999, at 71, though the specifics surrounding his death remain largely unknown. Terry Funk, born on June 30, 1944, in Hammond, Indiana, portrayed Morgan in Roadhouse, 1989, when he was 45. Morgan is depicted as one of Brad Wesley's most formidable enforcers, renowned for his raw physical power and fiery temperament. Initially employed as a bouncer at the Double Deuce, his dismissal by Dalton only fuels his growing hostility. Later, as a dedicated subordinate of Wesley, he clashes with Dalton and his supporters. Funk passed away on August 23, 2023, at 79 due to complications from dementia and Parkinson's disease. Julie Michaels, born on July 20, 1970, in northwestern Washington, Julie Michaels starred as Denise in Roadhouse, 1989, at just 19 years old. In the film, Denise is depicted as Brad Wesley's partner, living under his controlling influence while occasionally showing signs of defiance. Her character endures physical abuse that exposes Wesley's brutality, and despite their connection, she finds herself drawn to Dalton, even attempting to catch his attention. Her role powerfully underscores the oppressive and fear-inducing nature of Wesley's rule. As of 2025, Michaels is 54 years old. Gary Hudson, born on March 26, 1956, in Newport News, Virginia, took on the role of Steve in Roadhouse, 1989, at age 33. Steve works as a bouncer at the Double Deuce, however, unlike Dalton, he is undisciplined and impulsive. Known for instigating unnecessary brawls and engaging in inappropriate behavior with female patrons, his conduct soon becomes a liability, leading Dalton to dismiss him from his post. Although Steve harbors resentment and clings to his grudge, he ultimately lacks the capability to mount a proper challenge against Dalton. As of 2025, Hudson is 68 years old. Kathleen Wilhoit, born on June 29, 1964, in Santa Barbara, California, Kathleen Wilhoit starred as Carrie in Roadhouse, 1989, when she was 25. Carrie is portrayed as an affable and outspoken waitress at the Double Deuce, offering both humor and emotional support to Dalton as he strives to restore order to the bar. Despite the perils of working in such a turbulent environment, she stays devoted to her colleagues and boldly resists the mayhem unleashed by Wesley's gang. Her quick wit and vibrant charm make her an indispensable member of the crew. As of 2025, Wilhoit is 60 years old. Joe Unger, born on May 25, 1949, in Lake County, Tennessee, appeared as Carpass in Roadhouse, 1989, when he was 40. Carpass is a lesser-known but shadowy figure in Jasper, often seen loitering around the Double Deuce and involved in Wesley's schemes. Though not as overtly aggressive as some of Wesley's other operatives, his opportunistic nature allows him to profit from the town's corruption, remaining loyal until Wesley's eventual downfall. As of 2025, he is 75 years old. Kelly Lynch, born on January 31, 1959, in Golden Valley, Minnesota, portrayed Dr. Elizabeth Clay, known as Doc, in Roadhouse, 1989, at the age of 30. Doc is a compassionate and adept physician in Jasper who tends to Dalton's injuries after a brawl and soon becomes his love interest. Having once been entangled with Brad Wesley, she disapproves of his tyrannical hold over the town. Strong-willed and insightful, she supports Dalton's efforts while fearing the rising tide of violence. As of 2025, Lynch is 66 years old. John Doe, born on February 25, 1953, in Decatur, Illinois, took on the role of Pat McGurn in Roadhouse, 1989, at 36. Pat is portrayed as a sleazy and inept bartender at the Double Deuce, who is also revealed to be Brad Wesley's nephew. Confident in his familial ties, he brazenly pilfers from the bar and mistreats customers. However, his dishonesty is exposed when Dalton arrives, leading to his immediate dismissal and sparking a bitter resentment. Pat later resurfaces with Wesley's crew to confront Dalton, only to be swiftly overpowered. As of 2025, Doe is 72 years old. Patricia Tallman, born on September 4, 1957, in Pontiac, Illinois, Patricia Tallman took on the role of the bandstand beauty in Roadhouse, 1989, when she was 32. In addition to her acting, Tallman is celebrated for her stunt work and her portrayal of Lyda Alexander on Babylon 5 as well as her role as Barbara in Night of the Living Dead, 1990. With a rich career spanning film and television, especially in the realms of science fiction and horror, she is 67 years old as of 2025. Keith David, born on June 4, 1956, in Harlem, New York, Keith David played the role of Ernie Bass in Roadhouse, 1989, at 33. Ernie is introduced as a bartender at the Double Deuce, hired by Dalton as part of his efforts to reform the establishment. In stark contrast to the previous staff, Ernie is hardworking, honest, and professional, contributing significantly to elevating the bar's reputation by ensuring patrons are treated with respect. Although he does not engage directly in the brawls, he is a keen observer of the escalating conflicts between Dalton and Wesley's men. As of 2025, David is 68 years old. Kevin Tighe, born on August 13, 1944, in Los Angeles, California, Kevin Tighe played Frank Tillman in Roadhouse, 1989, at 45. Frank, the desperate owner of the Double Deuce, hires Dalton to restore order amid rampant chaos and violence. An honest and diligent man, he resists Brad Wesley's attempts to take over his business and places unwavering trust in Dalton's ability to bring about change. Despite constant threats, Frank stands his ground, showcasing his courage in the battle against Wesley. As of 2025, Tighe is 80 years old. Marshall R. Teague, born on April 16, 1953, in Newport, Tennessee, portrayed Jimmy in Roadhouse, 1989, when he was 36. Jimmy is depicted as Brad Wesley's deadliest enforcer, a merciless and exceptionally skilled fighter. Serving as Wesley's right-hand man, he carries out brutal tasks with a disturbing relish, frequently goading Dalton into conflict. His provocation culminates in a fierce battle where he nearly succeeds in fatally wounding Dalton, only to be overpowered and killed by him in an act of self-defense. As of 2025, Teague is 71 years old. Sam Elliott, born on August 9, 1944, in Sacramento, California, Sam Elliott took on the role of Wade Garrett in Roadhouse, 1989, at age 45. Wade is a celebrated bouncer and a mentor to Dalton, offering him wisdom and guidance. Though aging and weary, he remains formidable and resourceful when Dalton faces mounting dangers from Brad Wesley. Wade steps in as a loyal and protective ally, warning Dalton of the personal costs of his struggle. Tragically, he is ambushed and slain by Wesley's men. As of 2025, Elliott is 80 years old. Which Roadhouse character strikes a chord with you? It's never easy to say goodbye to the cherished performers we've lost. How does that make you feel? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're enjoying our videos, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the bell for the latest updates. We truly value having you as part of our community.